YouTube, what is good? It is your boy Stimmy2 back at you again today with another Apex Legends video. And in today's video, guys, I got a very simple question for you. Are you struggling in this new rank system to try to climb the ranks? Well, if you are, I have a great solution for you. Today, I have a ranked tier list for you guys, and I have a ton of experience with all the legends, so I know which legends are actually useful and will help you climb the ranks, and which will just kind of hold you back. So if that piques your interest, I would definitely stick around and possibly leave a like, comment, and a subscribe. I would love to hear from you if I helped you out. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Alright, YouTube, let's get straight into this tier list. So we're going to start with Ashe, and I believe Ashe probably belongs in C tier. She's basically just extremely mid. I don't think she belongs in D tier because she's not like terrible to the point where you can't use her type, but again, just very mid. Her ultimate is probably the best part about her because her tactical is just very underwhelming, but even then it's just a downgraded version of Wraith's Portal in my opinion. So I feel like Ashe definitely belongs in C tiers. Next we got Ballistic, and I'm gonna set him right next to Ashe. The unlimited ammo part is cool and all, but it's not something that you like absolutely desperately need on your team for ranked. As far as that goes, it's just, it really complements gunplay, but beyond that, like, his tactical is just super underwhelming, and his sling ability really only affects him and provides like no team utility. So I think he definitely belongs in C tiers. Next we got Bangalore, and I definitely believe that Bangalore is an S tier ranked legend. I feel like we're all very familiar with Bangalore at this point and what she can do. She did receive that nerf, but as far as like team play goes and her abilities, it didn't really hurt her that much. Definitely still very much deserving of an S tier spot as far as rank goes. Can really help you out in ranked. Next we got Bloodhound, and Bloodhound is a very versatile recon legend, and he's still very like effective in this can't see things meta with Bangalore and Catalyst still out there, definitely like being meta very much still. So him being able to scan through the walls and the smokes is huge, and his ultimate is super good and can lead you and your team to success in a lot of fights. Again, like I said, when you can't see anything, it becomes difficult, but with Bloodhound, he can't see anything meta. She also received a nerf with Bangalore, and I definitely think she got hit the hardest out of the two, but as far as rank goes, she's incredibly useful. Her walls are just undeniably amazing for rotations and holding people off your position, and just whenever you need to escape a situation, it's just huge. Her tactical is still super annoying even though affected by the nerf, and obviously when you're in a building, what better legend than Catalyst? I mean, come on. Still extremely effective legend, definitely belongs in S tier still. Next we got Caustic, and I believe Caustic belongs in B tier. He's become less effective as time has gone on because like less and less people as time goes on are afraid of Caustic. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really afraid to pass through the gas that he puts out, and I don't know, he's still really good for holding down buildings. Like, if you get trapped by a Caustic, good luck. He's just going to abuse the building that he's in, and you are going to get screwed in that situation. But there's definitely ways to counter him, and he's not like someone you absolutely need on your team, but he's still great for holding down buildings in those end zone times. Next is Crypto, and I'm gonna put Crypto probably gonna put him in C tier. It's just an issue in ranked whenever you need to be with your team, and using Crypto kind of like takes you away from your team. So you kind of see where I'm going with this, to the point where it's like almost not worth it to use him, especially in this meta. And it's not to say that you can't be good with Crypto, because there's plenty of Crypto mains out there, and this goes for every legend, that are going to make legends look amazing. but for the general populace, it's just crypto isn't very user friendly. Next is Fuse, and I'm going to put Fuse in A tier. And the reason being is because he is extremely lethal, and putting pressure on your opponents is just so key for ranked. And I just feel like a lot of people use Fuse wrong. They try to lead with their explosives rather than leading with the gunfire and using the explosives to support that, right? Because him being so lethal, you're going to be able to shoot tons of grenades out at other teams. Obviously, he's got his ultimate, his tactical. It's just, it can get very annoying, and you're not going to be able to stay into a position long if Fuse is focusing you. So he definitely belongs up in A tier because he honestly can be scary sometimes. I mean, if you're getting chased down by a Fuse and you just keep getting knuckle clustered and grenaded, it's tough, man. It really makes it tough. Next is Gibby, and I'm going to put Gibby, like a Bangalore ult comes out or maybe a Fuse ult. That bubble is going to be crucial and keeping you guys safe and protected from gunfire and just damage in general. And also his ultimate is amazing because you are able to hold people off your position, put pressure on teams, get damage on people. Gibby is overall just a great legend and hasn't really seen like a great decline. Next is Horizon, and Horizon has seen some nerfs. So previously she would have been S tier for me, but with the nerfs to her, I think it knocked her down to A tier, and it's really still close. Like if she got like a slight buff in any area, it would definitely put her in S tier for me, but I don't know. I just think we've seen her effectiveness dwindle down a little bit these past few seasons, and on the one hand, it's a good thing, but Horizon mains definitely won't be happy about it, but she's still an amazing legend. Next, we got Lifeline, and Lifeline can be like very, very effective for ranked because obviously she's one of, if the only legend that you do not have to be with the teammate when you're rezzing. You can just use the res drone, and that can be huge in fights, especially like when the Lifeline has to support you and your teammate that went down, or maybe vice versa. It's just awesome because you are able to stay in the fight and keep your teammates protected while they are rezzed. And also her care package is in the best form we've seen it thus far, so it can be huge, especially when you need like attachments and health, maybe mid game. But overall, she's just not the strongest right now, but definitely still a B tier legend, can still save you in a bunch of different situations. Next is Loba, and I'm gonna put Loba in A tier. She doesn't have like that deadly like force to her, if that makes sense. Like maybe say like Bangalore and Catalyst have their wall and the airstrike. Well, Loba has her shop, and that's not really like a deadly thing. It really helps with ammo and like support of the team and loot and stuff, but it doesn't really have like an overall damage effect. Like you are mainly gunning with Loba, and obviously you're able to kind of finesse around with the teleportation cuff, but again, she just doesn't have like that deadly factor to her. But she's still an amazing legend for ranked, and definitely an S tier solo queue legend. Next is Mad Maggie, and I'm gonna put Mad Maggie in A tier. This might be a little bit controversial, but I think she's also another very deadly legend and can be also extremely annoying because of her drill. That really makes it hard to stay in one spot, especially if you need to in the end game. And obviously the wrecking ball can put a lot of pressure on people. The only thing, like, her passive is shotguns aren't like the greatest at the moment, even though the PK is really good. It's just all the shotguns aren't, so you really need to be using a shotgun for her passive to even come into play. So that's kind of why she wouldn't be S tier or anything. Next is Mirage, and Mirage I really don't think can be put past B tier, honestly. Like, his Invisireses are kind of niche, but they are very, very effective when you can use them. It really, really does throw people off if maybe you're not playing against like the most experienced players in the world, and even sometimes when you are playing against very experienced players, they don't see you whenever you're rezzing, so that's huge. His ultimate is one of my favorites in the game personally. It can just really flip the tide of a situation, especially for yourself. Can cause a lot of confusion and really mess people up. Next is Newcastle, and Newcastle just seen some buffs this season, and those buffs greatly helped him out. He was already, in my opinion, an S tier ranked legend, but this just really solidifies it for me. He is amazing in situations where you don't have cover. He is amazing in situations where you do have cover because of his mobile shield and his passive, which is really the cherry on top, because you're able to move around with the shield with the res going on at the same time. While your teammate may be able to cover you, you're able to get your teammate into a situation where they're able to reset. I mean, the possibilities are just endless with Newcastle. Next is Octane, and Octane just isn't the greatest ranked legend, right? He's basically just solely movement, and that doesn't really help you and your team out at all. So I feel like that's just kind of puts Octane on a island of his own, if that makes sense. Like, you can't really raise him higher than C because of his team play, but you know, it's not really what he's used for at all. So next is Pathfinder, and Pathfinder is definitely an A tier legend for me as far as ranked goes, because obviously just being able to have the rotation area for your team and being able to scan those care packages is huge. And just Pathfinder on his own is a great solo queue legend as well, because you are able to get out of situations that might be tough and help your teammate get out of situations too with the zipline. He's just overall an amazing legend. We all know about Pathfinder at this point. Next is Rampart, and Rampart is a great ranked legend because she's basically purely defensive, but on one end, when you do like get her set up and ready to go with her walls and Sheila, she can definitely provide some offensive presence as well. It's just mainly, you know, it kind of takes a little while to set Rampart up, so that definitely holds it back as far as ranked goes. Next is Revenant, and this is one of the best solo queue legends in the game. Obviously his ultimate is just stupid broken, especially when you are down a man in a situation. You're able to fight multiple players off at once, and that's just huge. And obviously him being a movement legend, he's able to get out of situations, and he's just very, very powerful. Honestly, I mean, just go try Revenant out, you'll see what I'm saying. Next is Seer, and I'm gonna put Seer in D tier. They really nerfed him into the ground to just be short with it. I mean, he's just not really that effective anymore, and I don't see him being effective for a long time. So Seer in D tier. Next we got Valkyrie, and I'm gonna put her in C tier. She's just not really that effective anymore, guys. I mean, to be completely honest, she's just not the greatest legend anymore. We really just need to see some buffs for her to really see her like rise in these tier lists, but honestly her ultimate is really just not it with the evac towers, and the tactical is underwhelming, and you know, the jetpack just isn't what it is anymore. Next we got Vantage, and I'm gonna put Vantage in B tier. As far as rank goes, she is just kind of middle of the pack. Her sniper did get a buff, it got that extra bullet, but it's not really gonna help you out that much in the grand scheme of things when you got your team involved. But she's great for rotating and kind of like getting up on those high spots that some legends can't, so you can definitely provide like some pressure for your opponents with the sniper, and you and your team just got to kind of capitalize on that damage. But I don't know, it's just her abilities don't really warrant her any higher than B. So next we got Watson, and Watson is just not really it anymore. With some of these legends getting buffs and stuff like that, and this meta especially, she's just not the greatest meta, like legend for this meta, if that makes sense. Next is Wraith, and I'm gonna put her B tier. Wraith saw a decrease this season. Previously she was A tier, but with this meta we have in place right now, she's just, I don't know, she's just not really the greatest anymore. So maybe we'll see that change with later seasons in ranked and how those ranked seasons work, but for right now I just think she belongs B. And last but not least, Conduit. Conduit is basically made for ranked. Her abilities are just really just made for ranked. I mean, being able to heal teammates through walls, keep them in the fight. Her ultimate is super effective at keeping teams off your back and also keeping teams out of certain areas. Her passive is not the greatest, but it is really cool for when you do get separated from your team, you're able to get back to them fast. Conduit just really has taken over this season, and you're going to see her for a long time.